Here's how to make money inside a Pocket Option when you're using a smaller account. I'm going to show you some money management, I'm going to show you some live trading, and I'm also going to share with you a strategy that you can start using today. Inside a Pocket Option, I have about $350, and this is around the minimum amount that I recommend to be profitable for the long term. Anything less than that, you can still make money with Pocket Option, but you're going to have to introduce more risk with your trading, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. So we're going to be using a couple tools during this video. There's a couple spreadsheets. We have the Wealth Warriors Trade Manager, and we also have the 30-day compounder tool. All of these are available inside of my private VIP group. The Trade Manager is a highly advanced trade manager with mathematical calculations and an algorithm that allows you to win even if you have losses. These light-colored boxes on the spreadsheet are fully customizable. The first one is initial capital. So for this, you would take the dollar amount that you have inside of your Pocket Option balance, and you would insert that right in here. Then we have the total trades and win trades. So this is where you set your risk. You can make it ultra risky, or you can also make it ultra conservative. It's totally up to you. With the settings that I have, I must win 1 out of 8 trades. And if I do that, I've completed 1 session. You can also stack on the risk. In other words, I can change the win trades down to 2. Now I'm going to make more money, but I must win 2 out of 8 trades instead of 1 out of 8 trades. So there's a bit more risk there. But for this video, I'm going to keep this at 1. I must win 1 out of 8. That'll give me a total account gain of 0.28% after each trading session. Now we're going to do multiple sessions, so we can really compound our account, especially over multiple days, if we have the discipline to only set ourselves to only trade a certain amount of sessions per day, and we can multiply this and compound our results over several days. That's when we use something like the 30-day compounder tool, which is also available inside of the group. Up here where it says initial capital, you enter in the amount that you're starting with. This is your starting capital, whatever amount that you have inside a Pocket Option. For me, I have $350. If you have $200 or $1,000, whatever that amount is, you would enter that right up here. Then you have the account gain per session. That's the next option right here. So this number, where do you get this number? You get this over on the Trade Manager. Now down here under the session target, right here where it says account gain, you can see for this session, we will earn 0.28%. So I'll go back over to the 30-day compounder and make sure that I have 0.28 entered inside of the account gain. Now the daily sessions, this is totally up to you. I know for myself, if I do a lot of trading throughout the day, sometimes I can develop a little bit of a fatigue and get tired and need to take a lot of breaks and stuff like that. If I trade for about an hour, after that point, I get pretty tired and I need to rest, and I can come back to the charts later on. So the daily sessions, the more sessions that you do, the more money you're going to make. But I've just entered a number in here, so let's just say 20 sessions per day. Now remember, if I have 1 win, that means that 1 session is complete. You could probably achieve 20 sessions in as little as 30 minutes if you moved and traded fast enough. But this also depends on your strategy as well. So if you're using a 5-second strategy, you can usually get through sessions fairly quickly. Although if you're using like a 1-minute time frame with a 1-minute expiry inside a Pocket Option, it's just going to take you a lot more time. So up here on the compounder, I've set the daily sessions to 20. And that means that the total ratio that I'm going to earn on the account for the day, it tells me right here, which is going to be 5.6. Now that's pretty good. 5.6% per day is pretty awesome. We actually have a member who has documented his journey, and he's sent me a screenshot, and he started with $392. And at the end of the 30 days, he ended up with $2,349, which is a total profit of just a little over $2,000. And I can't stress enough to make sure that you stick to your goals when it comes to your sessions. If you've set up a 30-day plan and it says that you must complete 20 sessions per day, don't do any more than 20 sessions. Once you hit 20, then stop. Don't overtrade and wait till the next day. Maybe you could split it up. If you're feeling tired or stressed out or you're having fatigue, do 10 sessions in the morning and then do the other 10 in the evening. So with the settings that we have here, we would earn a total gain on our account of 5.6%. That's pretty good at only 20 sessions, with an initial capital starting at $350. I think this is doable, and at the end of 30 days, we could possibly turn that money into $1,794. Now, it's going to be give or take, right? This is just an estimation. There could be some fees and stuff like that inside a Pocket option that might change this number a little bit, but for the most part, this is pretty close to what we can get. So let's go back over to the Trade Manager, and we can see that we have the settings all entered in here correctly, and the first trade amount is right over here. The Wealth Warriors Trade Manager gives you the trade amounts for you. So you don't have to figure out, oh, should I trade with $5 or $10? No, you don't have to worry about that. The Trade Manager gives you those amounts, and it makes sure to keep you profitable throughout your trading sessions, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So what we do is we take the first trade amount, which is 106. I'll come over here to Pocket option, and I'll enter that amount over here, right inside the amount box. We're also going to make sure that we have a very important feature turned on inside a Pocket option, which is the trade amount limit switch. It's right here. Now, if you don't see that, just come over here and click on this little gear icon at the top left of the chart. It's right here. And then come over here where it says trading mode. We have different tabs over here, different sections. Click on the top one that says trading mode and make sure that the trade amount limit switch is turned on. The way this feature works, you can almost look at it kind of like a safety mechanism. It's going to give you a limit on how much you can trade with, and this will really save your butt. So let me give you an example. Let's just say that you wanted to enter the trade for $1.06, but instead you forget the decimal point and you enter in $106. That could be a huge loss on your account, especially if you're working with a smaller bankroll. So, to protect ourselves, let's make sure that the trade amount limit is turned on. And let's enter a number in here that we're comfortable with. If I enter 10 or 20, Pocket option is not going to allow me to trade with more than the amount that is entered in here. So it's a really nice feature to have. Let's go ahead and put this back to $1.06. Okay, great. So now we're pretty much ready to trade. And so what we're going to do from here is move on to the strategy. The strategy that we're going to be using today is called the Fast 5. Here's how to set that up. Come right over here to the chart settings and make sure you're on regular candlesticks. Set the time frame to S30, which means that each candle will represent 30 seconds. And these are the other settings that I have right here. I have the timer enabled, the auto scroll is turned off, and I also have the grid snap turned on. Now for the expiry on how long the trades will last, or I guess you could call it the duration of the trades, that's right over here in the time box. I'll make sure to have this set to the clock. Right there, I'll click right here inside of this box, and I will choose S5. So each trade will only last 5 seconds. And because the expiry is under 1 minute, we must make sure that we're trading with an asset that has the initials OTC. And the payout must be around 92%. So any of these up here will work just fine. I'll start up here and I'll go down the list. And I'll look for a chart that I like. Something that has some pretty good movement to it. If it's a little bit stagnant, or if it's going sideways, and if it's just not moving very much at all, I'll probably pass that and move on to something else. So for this strategy, what we're going to be doing is we're waiting for a new 30-second candle to appear, And because we have the countdown timer turned on, we're going to be counting down from 30 seconds. So once the countdown reaches 25 seconds, we're going to see which color the candle is. If it's a red candle and it has a large red body, I will enter a sell. If it's a green candle at the 25-second mark, I will enter a buy. Now, if it's indecisive or if it's flipping back and forth between red and green, I will stay out and choose a different chart or just wait for the next 30-second candle. Well, we've got some long wicks here on this one, so I'll probably just go ahead and wait this out. So we've got 6 more seconds left before the next 30-second candle appears. There we go. So here's the next one. 28, 27, 26. So right there at the 25-second mark, even though it's a little indecisive, you can see that it was red, but then it turned green, but that's okay. One of the biggest things for this video is I want to share with you guys what to do when you have losses, because they're going to happen. So I'm actually glad that happened because I'm going to show you what to do when this does. So over here, you go back to the trade manager and you mark this first trade with an L. And you'll see that the trade manager will give you the trade amount for the next trade, which is 221. Okay, so let's go back to Pocket Option and now we will enter in 221. Go ahead and let the trade manager do all the math for you. It will organize and handle all of the money management. You guys really don't have to think about it. All you have to do is enter in, whether that's a win or a loss. The trade manager will do everything else for you. It takes out the guesswork. So the next trade amount will be 221, and then you just continue the strategy as normal. So let's just come over here, and this chart is pretty decent. So we've got about, way down here, we've got about 8 more seconds to go before the next 30-second candle. So let's go ahead and wait this out. Okay, so here's the new 30-second candle, 28, 27, 26. That looks decent, could be better. Went ahead and entered a sell. We've got 1 more second to go. So what do we do if we have a win? Well, we've set our settings inside of the trade manager to only win 1 out of 8 trades. And if we do that, we've completed a profitable session. And so since we've won that trade, which is trade slot number 2, it says the session has ended. So at this point, all we have to do is come over here, click on the new session button. It will clear everything out. It will actually copy the new balance with the profit inside to the initial capital box. So instead of 350, we now have 350.98. And you can see over here in Pocket Option, it will closely match the same balance that we have in Pocket Option. Now, give or take, it might be off by a few pennies or whatnot. It's not connected to Pocket Option. It's just the way that we've designed the trade manager. So this will save you a lot of time so you don't have to keep updating the initial capital after each and every session that you do, okay? So now we've got a session that has been completed. We've marked 1 session complete on the session counter over here. The session counter allows you to keep track of all the trading sessions that you complete every day. Now, before the session counter, we had to remember how many sessions that I do, or we had to write it down somewhere and keep track of it that way. But with the new Trade Manager version 3, it will track and count the sessions for you. So you don't even have to think about it, which is a pretty cool feature. All right, so the trade amount over here, we always follow the trade amounts that the Trade Manager gives us. The first one is 106. So let's just go over here. There we go. And let's go ahead and look for another setup. Remember, we're looking for a new 30-second candle. We count that down from 30 seconds. At the 25-second mark, you look at the color of the candle. But there must be a decent size body of that candle. You wouldn't want to necessarily take a trade on a candle that is indecisive. And indecisive, I mean when the body of the candle is really small, kind of like this, and you have a large wick at the top and the bottom. That just tells me that the price just really doesn't know where to go. And so I don't want to enter a trade on a candle that looks like that. But something like this, you can see a nice, healthy candle here with a nice sized body. That gives me more of an indication that it's going to be moving in one direction or another. So, but when it's all said and done, guys, we don't really know if we're going to be having a win or a loss at the end of the day, because this is trading and it is binary options, which can be pretty risky. So let's go ahead. We've got 13 more seconds to go before that next 30-second candle appears. So let's go ahead and wait this out. And so far, I like this chart. It's moving fairly quick. Make sure to keep an eye on the payouts, because those payout amounts will drop. Now they have a tendency to drop while you're trading. See, right at the 25-second mark, did you see that? The candle was flipping back and forth. It was a little bit indecisive, and it's still doing that. It just doesn't really know where it wants to go. So I will pass. I will not enter a trade on that, and I'm just going to wait for the next candle. Or what we could do is just simply come over here and change the chart. If for some reason you're just not liking the way the chart is behaving, you can just choose a different asset. Simple as that, guys. You can also use stocks and commodities, whatever you're comfortable with. For me, I'm just used to using currencies and currency pairs, so that's just what I normally stick with. All right, so we've got about 12 more seconds to go, and we'll enter another trade here. And so you'll need to do 20 sessions per day if you have the settings that we have here, just in this example. You don't have to do 20, you can do 10 sessions a day, whatever you guys are comfortable with. Okay, so I went ahead and entered green. I went in for a buy, and there we go. So we've won the first trade. I will mark this as a win. The session has ended pretty fast. I will click on the new session button over here. It will clear out my results over on the left. It will update my initial capital. It will add another trading session completed. So far we've done 2 sessions, and it keeps track of everything for you, which is really, really cool. Okay, so now you can see as our initial capital grows, well, so does the trade amounts. Look at that. So don't worry, you're not going to be trading with only $1.06 forever. This is slowly growing over time. And over the course of 30 days, you can see that this trade amount will start to get larger and larger as your capital starts to grow. So really, really cool. So this trade amount right here, 107, let's go ahead and take that and enter that into Pocket Option. Everything looks good. Oh, we had a potential entry right there, but let's not get too much of in a hurry. Let's wait for the next 30-second candle. Now that's why they call it the Fast 5. It really is fast. You know, if you want to get through those sessions really, really quickly, although there's some traders that trade with Pocket Option, they don't really like this strategy. It's kind of looking like a little bit kind of sort of like gambling a little bit. You know, you're trading with pure noise. You know, when you get to those smaller time frames, there is a lot of noise that you're trading with. It's really hard to predict, you know, where that price is going to go. There's no moving averages or anything like that. Now, if you're more comfortable working with higher time frames, then by all means do that. If you want to spend a little bit more time on the charts, if you've got more time throughout the day to, you know, to apply to something like this, then great, do that. But for most of the videos that I have on my YouTube channel, I choose these smaller time frames so we can get through these a lot faster. All right, I kind of jumped into that really quick, but let's go ahead and see what this gives us. And we got a loss. So let's come over here. No stress, guys. Let's mark this as a loss. Next trade amount is 222. So let's go ahead and enter that in. Great. And let's just go ahead and wait for the next one. So we had a couple, well, these candles look pretty decent. Let's wait for that next 30-second candle. There it is. Looks like we're coming down, but I will go ahead and enter right at that 25-second mark. Need a little bit more push up, but we may not get it. And we've got another L. So what we would do is just come over here and mark this with another L. 464, let's come over here, 464. There we go. And now this chart's moving a little bit slow for me now, so I'm just going to change it up just a little bit over here on Odd CAD. We've got a 30-second candle here, probably not going to take a sell just based on the way that chart looks. Yeah, so Gonna just choose something here that looks a little bit better. And far as the right chart and the wrong chart, there really is not one. After you do this, you're going to get better at this strategy, and you're going to see the chart and the candlesticks differently the more you do this. So let's see if we can do something way down here. It looks like this is coming down, but it's not really moving like I would want it to. Oh, this one looks much better. So let's just go ahead and wait this out. We've got about 8 more seconds to go. 2 more seconds, and here is the new 30-second candle. And it's indecisive right at that 25-second mark. And because that's the case, I will go ahead and pass on that entry. That's all you got to do. So when you're using any strategy, trade through the good times and the bad, because they're going to happen. All strategies will have their winning streaks, and all strategies will have their losing streaks. Trade through all of it and stay consistent with whatever you're doing. 1 more second. There we go. Back over here. We mark that as a win. The session has ended. All you're going to do is just repeat this process. That's it. And that's all I've been doing. I'll come over here, click on New Session. Clears out all of the trade slots, updates the initial capital to match the balance that we have inside a Pocket Option. We've added another session completed, so we've done 3 sessions so far right on this video. And that's pretty much it, guys. And if you guys would like to join us, if you would like to get a hold of all the wonderful tools that we have, or if you would just simply like to go see the results from some of our members over here on the website, I will leave a link below down in the description of this video. I will also post or pin a link in the comments as well. You guys can go over here. This is, I've made this as affordable as possible. This is not a monthly subscription. Okay, there's no payment plans. You don't have to keep paying this and expecting that bill every month. It's nothing like that. It's a one-time fee, and most of our traders make that back within the first couple days. Okay, so this is lifetime. This is the Wealth Warriors Alliance. You get all of our wonderful tools, exclusive video training. We have videos on strategies. We have member submissions, strategies that members have found profitable. These members are not on YouTube. They've sent us videos to be posted privately to the members only. Videos and strategies that the members are finding profitable. All of that is posted for you guys to view. We have now well over 1,700 members, so this is a bit outdated. We have ongoing member support. We can answer most questions about Pocket Option, where if you ask Pocket Option directly, it may take them time to get back to you. However, inside of the Telegram group, most of the questions can be answered within just a few minutes. And it's also a positive environment, which is the way we like to keep it. Many traders were not profitable until now. We have a lot of members that have tried futures, Forex, crypto, indices, stocks. They just really never had any fun with trading until they've got a hold of binary options and have started using the tools that we provide to them. So I posted as many screenshots as I could fit on this page. But there you go, guys. You can trade anywhere in the world, of course, if you have a laptop and a mobile device. But I'll leave that for you guys to go ahead and check out. But that's simply how it works. This is what I would do if you guys are using an account somewhere around $300. If you have less than that, you can still use the Trade Manager. You can just knock this down. You could maybe even put this at $200. It's going to give you an alert. You have to keep in mind that you can't trade with less than $1 inside a Pocket Option. You guys will learn more about the education and on how binary options works and everything inside of the private website. But for now, I just want to let you know that the minimum amount is $1. So it's going to give you a red alert, and you have to go in here and change the settings a little bit, and you'll get rid of that alert. And you can now start your trades. Even with $200, you can start your trades at 127, and you can start using the trade manager and start completing your sessions, compounding your earnings, and you can do this every day. And also, didn't want to forget, the 30-day compounder is also included. You guys can kind of get, like, project in the future, or just maybe even over the next week or 2 weeks, you guys can see what your potential profit could be. All of that is included inside of the group. I wish you all the best of success. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a good day. Take care.